Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you, buddy? First and
Doing
foremost.
doing pretty good yourself.
Can't complain, man. Feel like I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off, but I mean, I'd rather be that than homeless, right?
Exactly. No, fair point.
I'm just saying, I'm not diminishing anyone who's homeless. I apologize if anyone takes it that way, but being busy is a blessing.
Yeah,
It
agree.
truly is. It's a blessing if things are in the right direction. If you have too much free time on your hands, in my opinion, something's wrong,
Yeah, totally agree.
right? I don't know. I just the way I look at life these days. Brother man, a lot's been happening in the world of professional wrestling since we last talked. WWE with their annual post WrestleMania cuts again. Um, I mean, should we talk about it really quickly here? I
Yeah,
can.
bring it up.
All right, so I'm just gonna shout out some of the names here, okay? Not all of them, because there was a lot of these that went away. Braun Strowman was probably one of the bigger name
Okay, let's
champions.
stop right there. I'm glad you brought that up. So they've gotten rid of Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, the two biggest, strongest guys that they have. To get rid of them, they can't find nothing for Braun, but you're going to make me watch JD McDonough on Raw. Clueless writers had to bring that up.
All right, fair enough. Shayna Baszler, who I was amazed survived as long as she did,
Mm-hmm.
through all the cuts. Dakota Kai, I questioned that one a little bit. I thought they could have done a little bit more with her. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Riley Osborne. Most of these people are from everyone that I'm mentioning that from Caden Carter downwards are all from the NXT brand. Riley Osborne, Jakara Jackson, which I was surprised about. I really liked her. I know you don't watch NXT, but for
No,
those who do, she was someone I was really looking forward to. Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, those guys I really liked as well. Um, and yeah, pretty much it. And
I
Corey
agree
Jade,
with every cut that they made. The only thing I don't agree with is Braun Strowman. It goes to show you, as I said before, they're going towards more of the AEW style, the little guys, the flippy floppy style. They don't really want the big strong guys around for whatever reason. I don't know. Um, I don't get it.
Braun, since he came back, has been injured a couple times. And the big reason for his release was, and I know what you're saying, that's your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the bigger issue here was how much they were paying him and not using him. Most of the
That's
people,
not creative though. Like I'm saying, they don't know what they're doing.
but what more can you do with the guy? Like, I mean, he's built as a monster. He's built in such a way where you're only limited to do so much. You make him lose consistently. You're diminishing the character that you built with
Exactly,
him,
dude.
right?
It's all on the creative. These guys are not creative. I call them creative. It's the most uncreative wrestling team I've ever seen. You got two of the biggest, best athletes in wrestling, and you can't find anything for them, but you can find something for JD McDonough. Come on, man. Looks like a guy in the crowd. Like it's mind blowingly ridiculous. And I get maybe he was overpaid, but you got to find something to do with the guy. He's that special of a talent. You don't get that big of a guy in athleticism very often. You got to
Yeah.
capitalize on that. So now we don't have really any big guys in WWE anymore. It's all little guys for the most part.
Well, let's see what they do, man. I mean, I say that, but I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, the reason you're stating your reason, fair play. They're saying it's all
We're
based
seeing the
on
cracks in the armor now. The wolves are at the door. The honeymoon phase is over. People are criticizing the booking, and it's full throttle now.
well, for what it's worth to you, not only talent was released, they also released a bunch of people from creative, right? So maybe someone's listening back there, maybe someone's realizing it because a bunch of people, not just like I said, talent, in-ring talent, were released. People in the office, people in creative as well. One of the main head creative guys was released as well. Here we go. Reason behind WWE releasing top creative team member after WrestleMania 1. So they released someone called Christina Lambrano, who was the senior vice president of creative writing operations. Um, Basically, she screwed up in WrestleMania, and that's one of the reasons. What we were told is that a lot of what she was doing was duplicating work being covered by Bruce Pritchard and other executive assistants.
It's not
So
really her fault because at the end of the day, Triple H's already stamped the final product. So if she's writing so bad, they should overthrow that. But, this is bad. We're doing this, so that's on them.
all right, well, like I said, I mean they're making changes over there as well, so maybe we'll
Yep.
see some stuff here, right? All right. So you wanted to shit on Raw, so here's your opportunity.
It's so it was not a good Raw, but the one thing that really stood out to me was the McAfee Gunther, what do you want to call it, confrontation. Here you have your former champion, supposed to be one of your toughest guys, and you're letting a commentator, former NFL punter, essentially punt on your champion, talk him down, make him look bad. I didn't like that. I thought that weakened Gunther. It's one thing for Gunther to beat the crap out of them and throw him like a rag doll, but to have him go 50-50 with a guy who's older, he's not in great shape, McAfee. I thought that was very, very bad, poorly written. But what I think they're going to do here, and nobody else has said this, but I think what's going to happen is, how does McAfee get out of this match? What's going to happen is you're going to see Goldberg come down at Backlash, and he's going to take out Gunther, and they're going to have their final match at SummerSlam, and Goldberg will retire. This is how you introduce Goldberg. He comes in to save McAfee. That's what I think is going to happen.
And I think you're right. I think this is the way they got to do it to get that match to where it is. But I will say Gunther did defend himself pretty nicely. He came back pretty strong to make himself look strong in that promo at the end there. Kind of put Pat on his heels a bit, I felt. So I kind of
for even to let a commentator get in there.
Yeah, but
and that'd be like Michael Cole talking down Lesnar. Like, give me a break. It's just so corny and so unbelievable. Like, I didn't like it.
It's professional wrestling, my friend. But
it's supposed to be believable. That's not believable, right?
What is believable, man?
When you have Gunther standing there with Goldberg, that's believable. They're two strong men. When you have a wimpy guy like McAfee talking down your former champion, your supposed tough guy, trying to make him sound weak, I thought that was.
You got to also look in the context that it was done in Chance, in the sense that Gunther couldn't touch him. He had a no-touch clause, right? Otherwise, he would have probably.
No, but it's the way that they allowed Gunther. It's the way that they allowed McAfee to talk him down and make him look bad. Isn't like that.
It's just to sell the match, right? But Gunther's going to get his, and he defended himself.
I know, but the McMahon would never let you talk down the tough guy.
McMahon's not there anymore, brother.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is,
you say that every week, McMahon.
I know, but what I'm telling you is, this is how bad the show is. I don't know anybody besides the hardcore internet YouTube community that actually are enjoying these shows, because that's the thing I've heard in even our football show. Like, why is McAfee talking down Gunther like that? It just comes across as corny.
You got good points, you got bad points on the show. Not every show is going to be perfect, but I hear what you're saying, brother, man. But the one highlight of the night, I'd like to segue this way, was the world title match that happened at the end of Raw. And I said to you when I was watching it, I texted you and I said, man, this main event was better than both main. I know it sounds like a broken record, but I mean, to shit on WrestleMania still, it was better than both the matches that were there that on WrestleMania night. The two title matches. Your thoughts?
It was a good match. It was very good. The only thing is, Seth is a heel, and he's coming down to the ring, conducting the crowd with his song. Change his song. You're supposed to be hated, yet you're singing along with the crowd. It's just so bad how they're doing that heel with Seth. Like, I don't get it. Great match, though. I disagree with that. But if you're a heel, then be a heel. You can't be. He's playing 50-50.
Seth is trying to be a heel, but I think he's more of the anti-heel, man. I mean, this is the way it is nowadays.
And change the music so that the crowd don't sing along with him. You know what really pissed these geeks in the crowd off? These 40 or 50-year-old men singing along. Have them come out with no music and say, screw you all, you're not going to sing with me. Make people hate you. But it's they don't get it.
See how they build this up, man. Like I said, I mean, the more heinous things they do, more of the people will start to hate them, and that will change. I mean, Roman rocked that same music for fucking almost a year and a half before he finally changed it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Roman still wore the armor, body armor and everything for almost.
But Roman was legit hated. Seth is not hated.
It's hard to hate someone when they're trying. It's like, look at Stone Cold. He came out trying to be hated. Everyone loved him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I know, but Seth is not doing anything heelish. What is he doing? He's literally singing along with the crowd.
Yeah, he is, but he's not doing the airplane spin anymore. He's like, little details are kind of
first things first. Are you mad to say cut your music out? You're coming down with no music. Piss these people off. Nope. So
okay,
good match though.
Fair play. All right, we didn't last week. Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff called out their project, Real American Wrestling,
which I told everybody it wasn't Conrad Thompson. It wouldn't be wrestling. This is actual real wrestling, like amateur wrestling.
So.
With some sizzle.
I don't know if it's going to go over. I mean, it sounds like an interesting concept. They signed some former UFC guys like Ben Askren. And that's the biggest name that I know of that they've taken out of the UFC, who's retired, who is an amateur wrestler. I've been on a couple of podcasts to talk about this. And to be honest, man, like, I mean, Hogan's taking a lot of heat in general.
Yeah,
Just so
but you're right.
hold on.
That's in the internet
Wait,
wrestling community. That's not the real world, though.
okay, let me finish. But I'm just looking at this and the way they're describing this project. It seems interesting, but I don't know if it's going to have any legs or not. I'm going to watch to see what they try to do here. So I'm trying to understand: are they going to actually amateur wrestler for real with
Yeah,
storylines, or are these going to like? I don't, I
it's
got to
going to
see what
be
this year.
so. It's going to be amateur wrestling, real wrestling, which are some of the best athletes in the world. And they're going to add a little bit of entrances to it, a little bit of sizzle. I don't know if they're doing the storyline stuff.
I believe they're
And,
doing storylines and
and the
everything.
funny part is, I look at all these guys on the internet. It's Conrad Thompson. It's not Conrad Thompson, guys. Literally, Bischoff has a podcast with this guy. Do you think Hulk Hogan is going to bring out a guy like Conrad Thompson as his third man for what, to do a podcast? He doesn't need to do that. I think it's a cool idea. It's a cool concept. Now, will it be super, super popular? Probably not, simply because amateur wrestling, and amateur wrestling doesn't have a huge, huge TV audience. But it will make it a little more popular. It's not going to be as popular as UFC or WWE, but they're going to add a little sizzle to the steak with it, make it at least a little bit more entertaining, which will help for the amateur wrestlers, showcase them to UFC, AEW, WWE.
Hey man,
So,
I'm totally down with it. I'm kind of curious to see what it's all about.
and Hogan's up to something too. I don't know if anybody else caught this. I think he might come on WWE soon. If you notice, he's got the Hollywood beard again,
Yeah,
which leads me
maybe,
to believe he might make an appearance.
maybe. Well, maybe he's accepting his heel role now, right? Like, I mean, he's realizing how much hate this guy's actually
Oh yeah,
getting.
the dude. Well, in the real world with a regular guy, they love him. But if you get on the internet wrestling community, and the YouTubers and the podcast, they fucking hate this guy with a passion, and they just
Poor man, you're the
hate
guy
the guy.
who reads all that shit. I don't even follow that
No, I'm just
stuff.
talking about what I see on the podcast too when I listen
No.
to
I
it.
get
I
that
hate
what
him.
you're saying, and that's like I said to you before. Me, I've never really been one to follow that internet wrestling community
No, I
shit.
mean, even those podcasts
So
you go on, those guys hate Hogan with a passion. They just hate the guy, and it's just like they have no, they're offended by what he said 10 years ago. But these are the same guys cheering on guys that rape their wives and beat their wives. So to me, it's just
well, it's kind of funny that
it's
something he
fake
did.
outrage.
Okay, look, I'm not diminishing what he did. I'm not saying what he did was right.
Mm-hmm.
And in his whole like, don't get caught speech as his apology sort of a deal didn't really go over well with a lot of people. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just curious to understand why it's rearing his head again all of a sudden. Like we knew Booker T was upset with him. We knew that Mark Henry was upset with him.
Mm-hmm.
We knew most of the,
But
ethnic and colored wrestlers were all upset with the guy, right? But why all of a sudden? And I don't know the answer to this. I'm just bringing it up, right?
I think because he's getting shine again. He's successful again. He's got money again. He's got Real American Beer, which is a hit. He's got the amateur wrestling show. He's coming back out on Raw and stuff like that. So people are getting jealous again because they always were jealous of the guy. So they're bringing that up and they're trying to we're the top dog. People want to knock you down and they're just going at him. And it doesn't bother Hogan at all. He's on all the shows and he's doing his best. And he made a mistake. He owned it. What do they want him to do? This Booker T mad at Stone Cold for punching out his wife? No, he's his buddy. So I get what Hogan shouldn't have said that. Nobody said he should. It was 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I
What
mean,
else can the guy do?
well, I don't know, and I feel bad for the guy because I mean, how did I put it? When I look at Hulk Hogan, this is what because I did a show where it was all about hate on Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I wasn't like, I didn't know too much about what was going on. I knew they were going to talk about Hogan. I thought we were going to be talking about this, but it turned out to be a why we hate Hulk Hogan show.
Mm-hmm. I
And
would love to be on. I would have shut those guys down real quick.
well, I mean, I kind of played it like this. I said, look, so I've always said to you, and this is kind of our stance on our show. Can I speak for you on this? And if
Yeah,
I'm
go
wrong,
ahead. Go
please
ahead.
tell
Yeah,
me. And
yeah.
I think you and I both are in the same boat that we believe that we can separate the athlete, the musician,
Mm-hmm.
the person behind their actions. So, for example, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, those kind of guys, we can separate
Mike
them.
Tyson.
Okay, well, boxing guys as well, Mike Tyson, Gervonta Davis. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the list goes on and on and on. Who's that football guy from the Ravens who ran over a bunch of people? Ray Lewis.
No. He supposedly stabbed somebody in a nightclub.
Oh, so, okay, whatever the case may be. But I think he also ran over someone in his car one day, as well. Long story short, we can separate these. Michael Jackson. We can
Mm-hmm.
separate these men
Yeah.
from their trade as we can look at Hulk Hogan and say, man, for me, Hulk Hogan was the Cliff Huxtable of wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
right? When I was a little kid. I mean, you know, from WrestleMania onwards, it was always Hogan, Hogan, Hogan. I didn't know what Hogan was behind the stage. I didn't know what Hogan was behind the scenes because it was all kayfabe. We didn't
Yeah.
have the internet. We didn't have any of that stuff. So a lot of the stuff that I learned about Hogan after the fact was hearsay from other wrestlers, this and that.
Mhm.
You know, so it was kind of hard to swallow that pill. When he made those comments, yeah, I had to take him down a peg or two, but it didn't diminish who he was in the ring. So
Mhm.
what I'm trying to say is I think you and I are able to separate the individual from their craft opposed to what they are in their personal lives.
What I'd like to say to Booker T and all these geeks on these podcasts on YouTube that hate on Hogan and all this stuff, let's put a microphone in your room and record all your secret conversations, and we're going to go through them all, and we're going to pick out something bad that you said, and I guarantee there will be, and we'll release it to the public. That's what it was. He should have said it, but he didn't know he's being recorded. Doesn't make it right, but this fake outrage it's been going on for 10, 12 years, and Hogan was the most popular wrestler of all time. He's going to get hated on. This is how it goes. I even see in the indie wrestling world, the top guys get hated on. They look for things why they hate you, and it's a lot. Wrestlers are some of the most sensitive people in the world, and they're very jealous and they're very bitter. Example, Bret Hart. He's still ragging on Hogan.
Let us
Never ends.
Well, he's ragging on Triple H too, as well, for no reason. I mean, Triple H.
He called Triple H the most uncreative guy in the world, which I agree with that. But then, yet you go on the Hall of Fame, you're shaking his hand, and then you snub Triple H. Again, it's like, come on, Bret.
Well, it doesn't help his cause. I love Bret. Don't get me wrong, man. I mean, the reason I became a wrestling fan was because of Bret Hart. Right? It was Bad News Allen and Bret Hart that made me become a wrestling fan. So it's hard for me to shit on the guy, but I mean, the end of the day, when you don't stop acting like a child, how do you expect anyone to take you seriously? I'm sorry.
Like, he's still mad at Goldberg. Goldberg's apologized 100 times. And how many wrestlers have had concussions by accident? You're not the only one, Bret.
Dude, I'm just
Seth
saying.
Rollins broke Sting's neck almost, threw him on that buckle buster or whatever. You don't hear Sting going around talking about talking Seth all the time.
Well, I mean, you think about it, McMahon and the crew didn't do their due diligence with Owen. In essence, you can argue that, right? They didn't do their due diligence with him. But Bret yet has come back for three Hall of Fame rings. So if you hate the company so much, if you hate the people that are running it, then why did you accept the invitation to come and get a third ring?
Ego.
But that just changed. Like, you know, to me, that makes you think, okay, everything you're saying is kind of tongue in cheek. You still want all the glory, you still want all the fame, you still want all the accolades, but you're going to shit on everyone at the same time. Well, how does that make sense? It's like you and me opening up a restaurant and having that same customer who comes in who eats all the food on their plate but shits about it the whole time they're taking a spoonful. Right?
I don't know why that WWE did the whole Bret Hart Stone Cold introduction match. He didn't need to do that with Bret. He's already in the Hall of Fame. Leave it at that. I didn't like that.
Well, I mean, if we really want to argue it, I think the first fight that should have gone into that Hall of Fame should have been our man, Hogan and Andre.
Absolutely. Biggest wrestling match of all time.
Right? If Andre the Giant's going to be the first guy inducted in 1994, if you're going to start inducting matches, that should be the first match inducted.
Yep.
Right? The second
no matter
match,
what you do for Bret Hart, dude, you can never make that guy happy. You can give him everything you want. You can give him creative. No matter what, he's just not going to be happy. This is the kind of guy he is.
I hate to say that, man. I don't like.
He's great to his fans. When you meet him in person, he's a great guy.
Yeah, dude, he's amazing. I met him. I met him at the U2 concert in 2017. He was beautiful, and I caught him on the steps. So there were people around. So I had the time. I had 5 minutes with him. I chatted with him. He was
he's very nice,
wonderful, gracious. Took a couple pictures and stuff like that. So, you know. Yeah, again, I don't know, man. I don't know why he's so bitter. He's not poor. He's not living on the streets. He's doing quite well for himself.
Because he lost a lot of money when he got hurt. He could have wrestled for another 5-6 years, done more, and it cost a lot of cash.
He should have just swallowed his pride, did what was right for business, for a man who knows the industry, for a man whose father was one of the biggest promoters on the West Coast. He should know how business is run. His biggest mistake was leaving the WWE. He should never have done that.
Yeah, I know.
You would have had 5, 6 more years, 10 more years. You probably would still have a career there, right? But his ego and his silliness caused all this. I mean, do the right thing for the business. McMahon, Triple H, Ari, I don't care who you say. None of these guys are bigger than wrestling overall.
Yeah.
Right? McMahon will always say that. I'm not the biggest thing in wrestling. Wrestling is bigger than me.
True, yeah.
Right. So these guys need to understand that. They got to accept that. Anyways, segueing over a little bit to AEW here with the Hogan stuff. You had MVP. I don't know if you caught any of this. Shelton Benjamin was shitting on Hogan. MVP was shitting on Hogan as well. Like these guys are just so bitter, man, because Hogan
Cool thing to do now, right?
Hogan mentioned Shelton Benjamin in an interview saying,
Said his name wrong.
Right. Yeah. Well, he was talking about the Real American Wrestling, saying how he fought with Brock Lesnar. And see, this is the thing. This is where I find Hogan contradicts himself. I was the first guy to go with Brock. Weren't Matt? You had a couple programs before you showed up there. Right?
Yeah,
like, it's a little contradiction.
But yeah, this is stuff from 20. But this is stuff from people got to take it into context here. Shelton Benjamin couldn't even carry Hulk Hogan's bags. He's a low mid carder at best, great in-ring worker, but Shelton Benjamin is not a star. Let's get that right. He said his name wrong. Another thing is the people are asking Hogan stories from 25 years ago, 30 years ago. The guy's early 70s. He's got a ton of concussions. They expect him to remember every single detail, like these geeks on the internet looking over every little detail, and he just don't always remember every single detail. So it's not that he's out there saying it wrong.
No, I get that, but there's more and more instances where Hogan is getting information wrong, and he's being called out on it. So this is why I'm saying, you know what, Eric, you're that guy. You're smart. Have someone who's writing for Hogan so he doesn't keep fucking up his facts.
Hogan's too big of a star. It's not going to happen. Hogan's his own man.
He should, though. But you know what I mean, though. You would have to understand where I'm coming from on that.
Yeah. No, I know what Shelton Benjamin's doing. He's trying to get some heat with the Hurt Business and run with it. I get that. I don't blame him, actually. Smart play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a cool thing to do right now. And then the cool thing that's slowly coming through the weeds, you're not seeing it a lot, is bashing on Triple H. He used to be the IWC darling. He's turning into not a very liked guy right now. You don't see it as much, but it's coming.
Fair enough.
See little whispers of it.
Well, listen, man, you know what? We have Backlash coming up this weekend. So while I'm pulling up the card here, I have a question for you, and I asked you this yesterday. Hopefully you were able to give it a little bit of thought. Do you find that the shows that have the smallest build, like think about this Backlash card's got a 3 week build? Do you find that the cards that have the smaller builds tend to be better than the ones like WrestleMania that almost had a 2.5 month build?
Sometimes it depends on what the matches are and how they're booking it. So it's hard to say. We'll see how this card turns out. It looks good on paper. We'll see if it actually translates as a show. I know they got too many shows coming up. They got this show, then there's a Saturday main event, and then they got that other show, whatever they're calling it. I can't remember what they're calling it. There's just too many shows, too many big shows, and too much writing. They're not able to. They got that Speed show. They got NXT. There's just too much shows, and they're not able to keep up. I get it's money. You got to keep it going, but it's like too many shows.
Yeah. All right. So as we know right now, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Braun Breaker will not be on the show here, from what I understand. I guess now that we're out of the WrestleMania season, we're coming back to the tight little cards, man, which I like here. So are you ready to break it down quickly?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. Undisputed WWE champion match, John Cena, Randy Orton. Look, man, I think it's going to be a fun match. It's going to go back and forth, but John Cena wins it. I don't think he takes it here. Randy Orton.
Absolutely, 100% slam dunk, no brainer. John Cena's going to win it. You had to book this match simply because it's in St. Louis, Randy Orton's hometown. Give the crowd a pop. That'll help sell it out. It will be a great match, but there's no way John Cena loses the belt.
No, I think Johnny Cena is going to be on the defensive for most of this match. It's going to be played like that, and he's going to pull it out of his ass somehow in some cheating, stealing kind of manner. Will Travis Scott show up? I don't know, but we'll find out in this match here. I'll be curious to see if Cena wins it clean.
Probably not.
That's what I'm curious about. That's what I'm most interested in, is how Cena's going to win it. Is it going to be clean? I'd be more surprised and shocked if he won it clean.
Me too.
All right. WWE's Women Intercontinental Champion match. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. And here's a funny thing, man. They're calling her Becky Hogan now.
Why?
Because she's kind of doing like Hogan does. She just takes off for a year and a half, comes back, wins the title, and then leaves again. Sort of a deal, right? Like, just shows up out of nowhere and just wins. And, so your friends in the community the internet wrestling community.
They ain't my
Calling
friends.
her,
They don't like me at all. I know what you mean. I like to read their stuff.
but they're calling her Becky Hogan for that because she came and she won the tag team titles after being away for so long. Same thing happened at SummerSlam, when she came and beat Bianca for the women's championship.
Mhm.
Very Hogan like in the late 80s, early 90s style, right? So they're kind of shitting
Well,
on
a
her.
lot of people do that. A lot of wrestlers
Yeah.
do that. Roman, Brock.
But just something to pick on, it feels, man. It's
Yeah.
just horrible. You know what? I think the right person here would be Lyra. I like Becky as a heel chasing. I think Lyra as champion. I think she needs more work. Keep the belt on her. Let her have it. Build her up a little bit more. I'm still kind of remiss on how, and Becky did it perfectly this past Monday. So what I'm referring to is when Becky attacked Lyra 2 weeks earlier, Lyra was no selling. He was just sitting on the ropes like this, looking at Becky, coming at her. Come on, man. Put your hands up.
I know that was weak.
Or look like you're hurt or something that you can't defend yourself. You look like you totally could defend yourself. You look like you could totally block the punch or at least kick out a leg, do something, but you did nothing. Lyra attacked Becky last week. Becky sold it perfectly. I loved it. That shows the difference in terms of the psychology and where the two ladies are. But I think the right person to win this match, in my opinion, would be Lyra Valkyria. Yourself.
I agree with you on that. She should win it. Let her run with it for a little bit, see what she's got. Becky doesn't need it. They can still have a good match. Becky puts her over, make her look good. That's what a true pro should do.
Now, the only reason I could see Becky winning this is only because she kept talking about Bayley and calling her trash, calling her this. This could set up a Becky versus Bayley match at SummerSlam or whatever comes up before that for the Intercontinental title. Remember, we have Saturday night's main event on May the 24th. Remember that, Chance, because I'm going to throw something at you after we do this, okay? United States Championship Fatal 4-Way, Jacob champion. LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest.
Some tough boys in this match. I like this match.
I like this one because you got some big boys in there that all of them can move too.
And hit hard.
And LA Knight's the smallest guy of all four of them.
And he's a big guy too.
And he's a big guy too, right? And so you got four big guys that can move, that are agile, that are strong. I'm looking forward to this match, man. This is probably going to be the sleeper, in my opinion. I think Jacob wins because
I think so. You got to keep the belt with him.
Yeah,
he's got all the momentum.
I think Drew and Damian are going to cancel each other out, and LA Knight will probably be the victim here again somehow. Probably. I don't know, man, but that's the way I'm seeing
it. Keep it with Fatu. He's young. He's hot. He's popular.
He's hot. He's
right playing now, a great role.
I mean, it's going to be a great. It's going to be a great move for him as he's trying to go up that ladder there to go after that world title, which I think will happen eventually at some point this year.
If he keeps on this trajectory, yeah.
Yeah. If not, by WrestleMania time next year, who knows? Maybe we're talking Jacob Fatu in the main event.
It's possible. They got to get a young guy in there.
Yeah. All right. WWE Intercontinental Championship match. Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. I'm not going to say, you know what? I think this is going to be a fun match.
Dominic will retain.
I think Penta might win here. Only reason I'm saying is we talk about the cracks in the armor. This Judgment Day is about to collapse.
Yeah.
It's about to fall, and I can't see any other reason to use this as a point here. I think Finn's going to come out of this as the face. I think even JD's going to turn on him. Right? I think so. I have a feeling, just the way it's kind of being, shown to us, unless they're swerving us and JD's playing the fool the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I think Dominic's going to take it. He just got the belt at Mania. It's only been 3 weeks. I think he's so young. I think they're going to see what they got with him. He's going to beat Penta. I don't think Penta needs it. He's just he puts on good matches. He doesn't really need the belt. We know Penta's going to perform. I think Dominic needs it.
No, fair enough, man. And I'm not going to disagree with you. I think Dominic will keep the title as well. But yeah, I'm curious to see how they're going to play this off here, man. It's going to be interesting. All right, your favorite match of the night. We already talked about it to a certain extent. Gunther, Pat McAfee. I think you already called the finish here, and I'm going to agree with you.
I hope so.
We both agree that Gunther will lose by disqualification because Goldberg will come out and interfere and set up the match that was supposed to happen at maybe.
No, Gunther will win by disqualification because Goldberg's going to spear Gunther.
Right. That's what I mean. Sorry, I apologize. The other way around. he's going to come and help McAfee, and that you're going to get that from there.
Because the people
So,
have been, I don't know if you follow Goldberg on social media, but he's doing a lot of Muay Thai and a lot of training. So he's kind of hinting like he looks in great shape for his age. So if you're going to have him his last match against Gunther, that's how you bring him in.
oh, for sure. So that's the card.
Could be good. Could be good.
We got what? One,
5 matches.
5 matches here, man. So I thought, and I think a lot of people thought that Jey Uso versus Logan Paul was going to happen on this show. That was my initial impression. I don't know why I walked away with that thought. I apologize. I retract that from our last show when we talked about it, saying that was on the card. This match will now be, you ready? It's not SummerSlam. It's going to be at Saturday night's main event. On May
That's not
24th.
bad. Free. That's actually a smart booking because people tune in on Saturday night for free to watch Logan Paul get his butt kicked.
Yeah, prime time.
Yep, I like it.
So that's when that match is going to happen. Yeah. So now we know that for sure that they're going to build up towards that.
And this will make Jey Uso even more popular because Logan is the ultimate jerk, the ultimate arrogant heel. He'll do some good moves. Jey will definitely win as he should, and people will love him even more because he beat up that jerk.
Now, are you okay with no Roman Reigns or CM Punk on the card or Seth Rollins per se? I mean, Seth will be there, but
what on Backlash?
Yeah, none of those guys are on there.
I'm okay with it because you got to save the big boys for the big shows. This is not a big pay-per-view. It's like a filler. And you already got John Cena on there.
I almost feel we're going to get CM Punk, Roman Reigns against Seth and Braun at probably SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense. I mean, Punk came back on Saturday to attack Seth and Braun during that match. Sammy came out as well to attack as well.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Punk's hair looking longer since Mania, he even looks more beefier, man. He's just like getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, he's probably on some tests.
Whatever he's on,
Pumping
man.
Up.
He's looking good, though.
He's getting in pretty good shape for 46, 47, yeah.
Right, can't complain. All right, is there anything you want to touch on or talk about, man?
I think we pretty much covered all. There's Dynamites on tonight. I looked at the card, looks okay. Ospreay's going to talk, a couple tag matches. We got Cesaro versus, what was it again? Okada, I think.
Okay, so AEW's released a bunch of wrestlers themselves, very quietly, but most of these guys I haven't even heard of. Most of them come from Ring of Honor and things like that, so they're quietly doing their little cuts and stuff. Rhino's debuting on AEW tonight.
Is he?
Yeah, he's coming out there tonight. So I don't know if he's coming out there. I know he's a big Edge guy, so I don't know if he's coming out with Edge. I will tune into AEW because I'm curious to see where this Edge story goes now. With Christian and everything, if they're gonna play off of it a bit. So yeah, I'm looking.
I will say one thing about the Rusev and Otis thing. You brought Rusev back as a monster, and here you have him going 50-50 with Otis. He beats Otis, and then after the match where he barely beats him, then he destroys him. If he's a monster, he should come out there and crush Otis. And all of a sudden, you had Rusev up here, and now you've just knocked him down to Otis level because he could barely beat Otis. And Otis is the big guy, but you're poking Rusev as a monster. He's not a monster to me if he can barely beat Otis. I don't understand that mentality.
And that's the problem they had with Braun. They booked him so well in the beginning. This guy was flipping over fucking ambulances.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, he was going toe-to-toe with Roman Reigns. He was going toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar. And then you bring him back and he starts losing to Jacob Fatu and he keeps losing to this guy and he's having a hard time with that guy. This is the problem.
They may not like him in the back. Like Vince did, who knows?
Man. I'm not sure,
I'll say one thing I didn't like is Sheamus comes back, okay? And you have him beat Austin Theory. So this has to be a rib to Vince. Like, hey, we're just going to keep beating this guy down. You're chosen one or whatever. We're just going to keep making him lose and make him look stupid. It must be a rib to Vince because there's no way a guy this young, 26, this built, this athletic, loses to all these guys all the time. It's just outright disgrace.
I disagree with you, man. I'm not going to disagree with you. That kid.
I like Sheamus, but couldn't he beat somebody else? Does it have to be Austin Theory?
It should have been Grayson Waller.
Yes, throw that guy out there.
Right? Like, I mean, but I think, again, we have to also look at the story arc here, right? We've been seeing this for a while where Grayson keeps throwing this guy under the bus, keeps throwing him under the bus, right? At what point is this guy going to flip on him? Right. So this is what I'm waiting for. Maybe that will be the catalyst that gets this all going for Theory. That this guy keeps doing.
I'm almost convinced. I've been saying this for a while, but I'm almost convinced this isn't just a rib. This is just Bruce Pritchard and Triple H. Hey, old man, check this out. Hey, we're gonna mess with you. We love you, but you're not here to tell us not happening.
Yeah.
Who knows? Wrestlers are very petty, man.
And I know all these guys have mad love for him, right? So I
They
mean,
have love for him. They just like to rib each other, right?
yeah. All right, brother man. I tell you what, let's wrap this puppy up here. Let's get going. Let's get on the road. My name is Bobby Sampson. His name is Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you guys and gals. Remember, this is 2025. This is the first day of the rest of your life. If you haven't heard it before, hard work, patience, and faith are the key elements to success here, man. No one's going to tell you this otherwise. I'm telling you straight up, you have to work hard. You have to work hard. And if you think you're working hard, you got to work even harder to achieve your goals, man. Because for everyone out there everyone out there who's looking to achieve what you want, you have to work harder than them. You have to get up earlier than them. You got to move harder than them. And you got to have patience because not everything happens overnight. I've never seen anyone plant an apple tree and get fruit that summer.
Mm-hmm.
How many years would it take? It can take up to 5 to 10 years to get the fruit. So remember, you have to work hard to get that fruit of your labor.
Well said.
Samp and Chance are out. Have a great week. We'll be back with boxing later this week.